Barbara Starr at the Pentagon, thank you. And I want to get more now on this terror threat and the U.S. strategy against al-Qaeda's affiliates. Joining me now in the Situation Room, Democratic Representative Brad Sherman. He is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, happy holidays, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you, Brianna.
Why hasn't the U.S. had more success as it tries to target certainly al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and also ISIS?
I think tremendous success compared to the Iraq invasion, which cost the lives of 4,000 American soldiers and many, many more thousands wounded, etc. This is a problem that needs to be managed. If you judge success by have you solved the problem, is there nobody threatening the United States, then you'll always say that we failed in our policy. But we were able to roll back ISIS when it was threatening Baghdad, when it was threatening the Mosul Dam, when it was threatening the Haditha Dam. And this is a problem that's being managed with very limited American casualties. You compare that to some attempt to put 100, 200,000 troops on the ground and incur many thousands of American casualties, I think that would be the failure.
Do you worry, though, that, certainly that is something that Americans are not in favor of right now, boots on the ground. But we just heard from our CNN terrorism analyst, Paul Cruikshank, and he said ISIS is capable of launching a major terrorist attack on Western soil because of its huge network of recruits. I mean, is it just a matter of time? Are you concerned that we are that vulnerable?
Look, we saw Major Hassan, who just listened to, saw internet postings and killed many of his fellow soldiers. We saw what happened in Boston. There is no policy, and I know this is unpopular, but there is no policy that will assure Americans that there is no chance of an attack on American soil. That being said, we can't put all attacks in the same category. We lost well over 3,000 people on 9/11. That kind of attack I think we can prevent. But the idea of one or two lone wolves, one or two operatives killing several Americans, that may happen. And we cannot overreact to that fear and lose thousands of American soldiers on the ground in the Middle East because we're unwilling to accept the fact that there may be another attack the size of Boston.
What if it is more than one or two? What if this trend grows, people who are inspired by ISIS? And in a way, it's not just how it obviously affects those who are killed or injured in their families, but it also would affect Americans who change the way they live their lives out of concern for an attack.
This is something we're going to have to deal with, and even if we totally destroyed ISIS, some other group is going to fill that physical space, that ideological space, and that cyberspace. There is no program that will allow you to say that no American mother is going to worry about her kids. And even beside the Middle East, we had Americans ready to see a movie on Christmas Day, and now returning to the theaters when we saw threats coming from North Korea. So I wish that I could tell you that drunk drivers are not going to be a threat, that accidents are not going to be a threat, that ISIS in North Korea and Iran and the Shiite Hezbollah organizations are not going to be a threat. We have to live with threats and hope that we can keep the effect on the American people, the physical effect, down to a minimum. And if we go chasing around the world, sending hundreds of thousands of troops, or asking our leaders, why can't you give us total perfect safety, and why don't we mobilize in an effort to try to achieve that safety, we won't get the safety and we will get the casualties.
Yeah, certainly 100% safety is unattainable as a goal. I want to ask you about Yemen again before I let you go. The second highest ranking intelligence official in Yemen was abducted. I wonder, how concerned should we be about Yemen falling maybe to control of terrorists, but certainly being even more of a haven for terrorists?
Parts of Yemen are already not only a haven for terrorists, but a haven for different groups of terrorists. You have the Shiite terrorists backed by Iran, you have al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, and the divisions that you see between the Shiite, the Sunni al-Qaeda, and the Sunni ISIS diminishes the threat that these terrorists would pose. But Yemen has been in many of its areas, a haven for terrorists for the last decade.
Sort of a reality check we're getting there with you, Congressman. Congressman Sherman, really appreciate your time on this holiday Friday. Thank you.
Good to be with you.